before we wrap up, there's a certain disease I've come to realize. People start suffering from that disease during exam time. Can you be knowing what that disease is? It's a disease. During exam time, people suffer from that disease. And the disease is known as chitiosis. Chitiosis. And the process in which people they go through so that they can, when they have that disease, is known as a chitology. So, as you think about that disease, the process by which people cheat in exams and during exam time. So, what are the consequences that people may have if they don't walk in the path of academic integrity as we wrap up?
Okay, thanks, Levi, for that. I just wanted to add one point to what Caro has said. I think if they can project Philippians 3:12. It's not, then I'll answer your question, yeah. From 12 to 14. That's just, I just want to add one point. I feel like adding it to the question of like how do you put yourself into academic integrity? And I cited this earlier. You really need to look, if you want to have academic integrity, don't look at yourself. Look at yourself beyond the classroom. Like have a sense of vision, purpose, and identity. If you want to pass exams, like have good grades and show your friends. But sorry, that's like a very low bar. So Paul was speaking in terms of his call. And he's saying that not that I have already obtained all these or have already been made perfect, but I press on to take hold of that for which Christ took hold of me. The next verse. Brothers, also sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind, and straining towards what is ahead. 14. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me, heavenward in Christ Jesus. Sorry, I can't read from this side. I think that verse, I took hold of that verse even prior to coming to this country. I was just someone preached it and I got a sense of like it really touched my spirit. Like in every time I'm in a classroom, I'm in a project, or I'm helping a friend, I usually look into that verse. Like really, I do two things. Like I forget myself that I've obtained things. Most of the time, some of the also consequences, like there are those exams which are very tricky. You feel that you know it all, but you come and you be humbled. you know those things, like when you get out of the exam room, people are happy and wild, and you're like, ugh. So I really urge you, just to add to Caro's point, I really urge you for you to have integrity in your academics. Look at yourself, feature yourself now. What's your name, where you come from, whatever your place, whatever challenges you have. Have that one as like the snapshot, like a photo, a scene. Then have several scenes following after that. And make sure that the scenes project towards your vision. Don't have the next photo of you, it's just graduating, then the next photo of you, or you have all your scenes here within the school. You should really have several snapshots of yourself as a leader, as someone who is working, as someone who is impacting your community. If you have all these scenes laid out, okay, you can't have all of them laid out, but you have some of them at least. You can see yourself with a very clear sense of vision. This one will now, because the goal is very high, that means you will now hold yourself to a higher standard. Yeah. But if your goal is to pass exams or to impress your classmates, that's a very, very low bar. With such a low bar, you can just do whatever you want just to reach it. And I would really urge us to have that in our mind, have a sense of vision and have a sense of goal. Levi was asking me about the consequences. I'll just cite them as bullet points. Like one of the things I have a classmate, I think, who should be here. I don't know if she's around. Stephanie, are you in the room? Yeah, she's at the back. She's my classmate, and like one of the consequences, like people, whenever you walk, whatever you do, I usually tell guys, you're making there is a print of your character. The same way you have a fingerprint or a footprint, there is a print of your character. Like every time you show late into a meeting, every time you behave dubious or whatever you're doing, you're creating an impression into people, and human beings remember those things. If you cheat and whatever, and then fast forward into like 10 years, and I see you on TV, the first point I'm remembering, Uy Jama, I remember him from exams. He used to cheat. I'll not remember the time that you gave me 50 bob or whatever. So you should really know that these things will haunt you in the future. Or you will be running for office, and then you're being interviewed on TV or in the panel. Then they say, oh, by the way, we have your classmates here. Journalists can do that. We have your classmates here. Do you have anything you want to say to them? And then you're like, oh, no, that time I was not around. So you should really, those things will come. Those things will come. Like you should really try to set a very good record for yourself. And then there is other things that I said earlier, which are things to do with people's lives most of the time. If you're in an operating theater, you're like working on someone's body, you really, by that time, that's not the time for taking chance. That's not the time for Googling. Or if you're posted as a foreign delegate to another country to go and represent your country, either as an engineer or as whatever, like you can't go there and like the first thing is like, pick your phone, you put into a server room and you pick your phone, it's like, Jemo, kuna kitu hapa. You can't be calling people, Jemo, configuration, and you can't be doing that. You should really uphold these things. And for me, these are like just few points, and these are the consequences of this stuff. And I would really urge you to consider them as you're doing. Just last point, like why I said about Stephanie, she used to be my classmate. And now she's a network engineer, and I meet her also in a professional circles. And even in this forum here, like if I've been doing some things in the classroom which do not uphold integrity, it will be very hard for me to accept the call even to come to this panel. Because you'll be like, okay, you're saying about more Kenya, but I remember you. So these are things that I'm throwing out there for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
For me, I have one policy when it comes to my studies. I always tell people, know what works for you. Know what system works for you in terms of your studies. As Levi says, there are those people who they really want to pressure themselves and they'll perform and they can go ahead. There are those people, if you don't study from the beginning of the semester thoroughly, you fail. Like Caro, I'm the reverse. For me, I can cram a whole page. Vizuri sana. As in, I can remember I wrote it in up here, in red, and it reads. As in those definitions, I would copy-paste as it is in the book, on the notes. So that was my gift, and God's grace, I used it when I went to serve in church in ministry. We call it Bible Challenge. And we challenge ourselves to memorize scripture, and it has been a benefit for me. So know what works for you. For me, I realized sometimes I was out doing attachment or internship. I realized I would not be able to study all the 12 questions. And so I would take 3 or 4, maximize these ones. Out of 20, I will get 18, 17, 15. But you see someone touching 2, 3, 5. And then at the end, you have 15. As in, that's what worked for me. Perfect on this very well, then come back here, touch on other small few points. But don't just touch on everything. Consequence, I had a friend, our diploma, the final year, no one was caught, by the way, using a Kenya, but people used, and they copied from each other. But it was a NEC exam. And NEC, they don't want to know who copied from who. As long as they see something, a pattern, everyone is cancelled. So apparently 6 of my classmates got a Y in our final diploma year. And that's a NEC exam. You have to wait, I don't know, for 2 years, do what. And I remember like 4 of them came in this school with an A-. As in, I'm thinking, guys, you were sharp. As in, why waste yourself? But some of them now, they dropped out of school, they're doing other things. I met another friend and he told me he bought a certificate from NEC. I'm thinking, my friend, how far will this take you? Yes, some people go to those extremes. Then another thing, don't compare yourself with someone else. Know what works for you and stick to your lane. I saw someone who shared with that. I'm forgetting now the name, apparently, when I'm here. Consequence is when you go out there, as Rashid said, I saw so many people come and cheat. Oh, I know how to do this. And you know, in engineering, it's very tricky. They're just giving a practical thing, but they fix this for us. And you're there trembling. You don't know anything. They tell you, oh, you've done electrical. Okay. That's a three-phase motor. Please connect for us. And you have no idea what it is. You have no time to call because the panel is there. And I've seen people in engineering come and say, oh, I know how to do this. And they have failed. And the boss is like, why are you lying? Just say you don't know. So for me, I would go there and they ask a question, say, I have not dealt with this one, but this one I know. And they ask me and I'll perform it. But if you're honest, people out there are willing even to help you or to train you. So don't try to cheat your way out just to get up there. Sometimes you'll be so frustrated. Another thing is, as he said, these issues about corruption and all that, they start by these small things that we do in class. Copying an exam. Where I am, where I'm doing my master's in AIU, or others call it NEGEST, plagiarism or copying from someone's work and not citing them can cost you to be disqualified from school. As in, they take you out. And I've seen even some books, people wrote books before and they never cited a comment from someone, just a line or a thought. And the whole print is just scrapped. So some of these things, training yourself slowly. Actually, when I'm here, when I went to Bible school, I thought, I wish I took serious the trainings that we got here, cultivating a reading culture. Because now I have to read like 12 books, do a review, and it's a struggle for me because I didn't cultivate that culture.
Okay, thank you so much for that. In short, you are saying that there's no lift to success. You have to take the staircase. So if you want to climb the tree from the branches and you avoid climbing from the ground, from the roots, then one day you are going to pay for that. Amen? Have you been blessed? Have someone been motivated or rather inspired not to copy in exams? Sasawa. Before, there's someone with a burning question in the crowd. Before I get that person to ask that question. Please, these guys are doing exams. And some of them that are here, wanasema, jamaa suamaliza haraka mimi ni revise. Or rather, I continue cramming, I continue nijipange sawa. Please, your parting words and also what you can tell them. Just kila mtu dakika moja. Nikikohoa, you pass the microphone.
All right. For me, it's to wish you well, all the best as you sit for your exams. I know some of you, this is your final exam to graduate. Finish well. Because you're finishing, how you finish is better even than how you started. Another thing, I always tell people, it's better you get a D and you worked so hard for it and you know that's my best. Because for me, I go home and sleep well, and yeah, I worked hard. Rather than get an A, which behind your mind you're thinking, that was not for me. But if you are an A person and you know yourself and you got a C, that's something that you feel, I need to work hard. So how you are, work at it. Work to and strengthen yourself and encourage yourself. Don't panic even if your friend gets an A and you have a C, if you really worked well for it and you revised well for it. God will reward you. By the way, it's not about grades. I wish my wife was here to tell you. I think only one place she have ever gone and asked her papers. It's just what you did. And people there working in that department have degrees. She have done a diploma. Sometimes it's not even about your grades. It's about God's favor.
Amen.
You will go some places and they will never ask about your papers. They just know this guy is good in IT. What you did, whether you got a certificate, they don't care, as long as you can fix whatever they need fixed.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Pastor. The problem with having pastor in a panel, they think they are preaching, huh? Yes, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah, for me, I'll just be very quick, and I've been alluding this in all my comments. This is a flat wall. Whatever standards you have, like the job market, whenever you refer to the job market, this job market is actually the whole world. I have friends who work from their bedrooms for organizations in Europe, in Asia, and in the US. What I'm saying here, you need to look beyond like if you get an A, yes, that is good, but ask yourself, what is it demanded of me? And then that one will now lead you into doing more research and doing more work, even beyond your classroom. And that's what makes the difference. There are a lot of people who have good grades outside there. Whenever you're called for an interview, whatever qualifications you have, know that there are 1,000 Kenyans who are anxious and willing to come and take that job tomorrow morning. So it's a flat wall. Look beyond the horizon. And the Lord is there. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and what? And lean not on your own understanding. So everyone who is sitting in this room who is going to graduate, I'm just charging you. It's a very flat world. It's an infotech world. And whatever standards you have in your hand, look at it beyond any, beyond your county or beyond this country. It's a flat world. Prepare yourself. The whole world is ready for you. Some of you are going to be employed beyond like the very close expectations that you have. So I charge you to hold yourself into that standards. Whatever standards that an American can do, hold yourself into that. Whatever standards that a German can do, whatever standards that an Asian or a Chinese can do, hold yourself into that, and the Lord will be with you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's go to Carol.
Yes, what I can say as my part in short is that God is gracious. God is gracious and is willing to help us and to guide us through in all your ways, in all that you do. Therefore, trust him with those exams, trust him in those papers, trust him in every detail of what you do. Don't trust him only in your salvation. He's concerned everything about you, because he is the Lord that can give you an opportunity in each and every area. You may not have done a course, but God is able to give you the grace to handle something that you didn't learn in class. So even as you're doing the things in class, don't keep yourself clogged up. Don't say that I've done medicine, so therefore I must work in a medicine world. But let your mind be opened and let God guide you, because I know God is really faithful and will not fail you.
Thank you.
What I want to say is that believe in yourself. If I made it to this far, you can also make it. Don't be discouraged. Even when you see people coping, don't be discouraged. And we can fight that from here. If we can start from the Christian Union, we can fight it back all the way to the whole school. And I want to leave you with Luke chapter 16, verse 10. If God can entrust you with your studies and you're faithful, when you come out here, he'll be able to trust you even with much. And in every time as you study, as you walk around, as you think about your life and your future, always think about Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, think about those things. May the Lord bless you.
Yes, Rashid.
Well, friends, I must submit to us that your life is dependent not on your exams. So don't lose your life because of exams. Exams are a small part of your life. The Lord has a bigger picture of what your life is. So don't lose your life because of tomorrow's or next week's exam. By the way, your future is not dependent on the exam you are going to do, but it is dependent on the decisions that you make in this life, including that decision to cheat. While I passed well, I went and dropped papers in a company, and all I got was a casual job to pack soap with my good papers. When they hired me to the job I am doing today, they later asked me for the papers when they had given me an employment contract. If you didn't hear, you have heard. So be faithful. Don't lose your life because of your exams. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. Go. The Lord grant you grace. Achieve that which you have worked for.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate the panel.